What's the secret, Max?
The secret?
Yeah, well, you seem to have it pretty figured out.
Secret, I don't know. I think you just gotta find something you love to do and then do it for the rest of your life. For me, it's going to Rushmore.
En zo heeft iedereen wel een Rushmore. Een doel in het leven om gelukkig van te worden. Mijn moeder besloot om haar Rushmore achterna te gaan. Ze ging naar Nepal toe om daar vrijwilligerswerk te gaan doen. En na een paar maanden zocht ik haar daarop. Terwijl ik daar was, ontmoette ik een aantal bijzondere mensen. Die mensen hadden allemaal een eigen verhaal over hoe zij geluk zoeken of geluk ervaren.
I'm Stefan. I am the happiest person I know on earth. And while I'm glad for that, I'm sad that more people aren't as happy as I am. I was in emergency medicine in the States for 44 years. So I saw everybody's stress, violence, medical problems, abuse, whatever. So I had about 30,000 patients, and I tried to learn from each of my patients. But I've always been after this quest about what is happiness, what creates happiness. And the basics are really simple. And I've identified we have 5 basics. We need air, we need water, we need food, we need clothing and shelter. Some people may say shelter and clothing. But when you have those 5, everything else is optional. Everything else is optional. That's what I love about what used to be called third world countries are now called two-thirds countries, because 2/3 of the countries in the world are in poverty. And it always amazed me that in these countries, people are so happy and they don't know where the meal is coming from tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, but because they know family is important and love is important and they love where they live, everything else works. And yet in the West, you find these people have all the toys, they have the money, they have all the prestige, and they're unhappy, and they take medication, and they have psychiatrists, and they commit suicide, or they develop cancers and things. Happiness is a state of mind, and what I've learned is the brain gets to be right. If we think life is negative, you're right. If you think the cup is half full and life is positive, you're right. And it's like what we think is what we attract. So the situations, the opportunities, the people, the challenges, or whatever. And even Einstein said it. Einstein's one of my favorite of all the philosophers. He talked about everything is energy, that's all there is to it. When you match the frequency of the reality you want, you cannot help but get that reality. So whatever you think is true is true. When we choose to be happy, when we choose to be positive, when we choose to be welcoming with people and inclusive, instead of all the stuff that's going on in the States right now about exclusive and America first. No, Earth first, people first, no matter where they come from. That's a political boundary. That's an arbitrary thing. And like we were saying before, we all have so much more in common than different. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Namaste.
Namaste.
We weten wel dat als mensen die redelijk wat verdienen, als die nog meer krijgen, nog rijker worden, dan worden ze niet gelukkiger meer. Als je de hele bevolking van Nederland op een rijtje zou zetten en je kijkt naar de verschillen in geluk, dan is ongeveer 40% wordt verklaard door de genen van mensen. Ongeveer 10% omstandigheden. Dan kun je denken aan ben je getrouwd of niet en bijvoorbeeld hoeveel geld je hebt. En die andere 50%, dat is best veel, die hangt af van de keuzes die je zelf maakt.
U zegt dat de helft van ons geluk afhankelijk is van hoe we ons gedragen. Maar wat moeten we dan doen?
De relatie tussen geld en geluk is eigenlijk iets genuanceerder dan we denken. Want als je je geld op een goede manier uitgeeft, kan het toch wel een bijdrage leveren aan geluk. En dat zijn eigenlijk 3 dingen. 1, je moet ervaringen kopen in plaats van spullen. Dus geen Lamborghini. Tweede is tijd kopen en vrijheid kopen. Dus jonge stelletjes die moeten vaak een soort horde over, mentaal gezien, voordat ze een schoonmaker of een schoonmaakster in dienst nemen. Maar op het moment dat je het helemaal gedaan hebt, iedereen is daar heel erg blij mee. Want je koopt gewoon een paar uur vrije tijd in de week.
Yeah, my name is Vinod. I stay here nearby. I'm a village guy and I'm a happy guy because my hobby, I made it my career. So I fly with you, you fly with me. Just it was not my work, it was my hobby. So happiness is there. So happiness should come from the relationship, from the person, people, living things. I guess. I think that the non-living things or the materials, they won't make it happy for a long time. Just my new phone won't be new for a long time. A little request to the viewers. Happiness, yeah, of course, if you want to be happy, so don't be so much of materialistic. So you have to add some spiritual thing into your life. So the spiritual thing is not the big hardcore religious thing. I don't mean so. But it is all about just how you relate with the other people, with the surrounding, how is your environment. So don't gather up so much of stuff. And yeah, money is the root cause of unhappiness, I think. So if we are to make the whole world happy, then sooner or less we will remove money from the world. Maybe we'll go for resource-based economy or some other form of economy, but not money. Just because I can fill your belly, I can quench your thirst, but I cannot fill your pocket. For now, let's be together, let's understand each other, let's feel each other. And real happiness is comparative, it is the synergetic. So just if you are happy and I'm happy, we both together, we become very happy. Yeah, so that's my words.
Yeah. Namaste.
Namaste.
Advertising is based on one thing: happiness. And you know what happiness is? Happiness is the smell of a new car. It's freedom from fear. It's a billboard on the side of the road that screams with reassurance that whatever you're doing, it's okay. You are okay.
Ik ontmoette de monnik Dipi Dorji. Ik sprak hem bij de Boeddha-nat, de grootste stupa ter wereld. Hij wilde niet gefilmd worden uit angst dat ik alles in een negatieve manier zou verknippen.
Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm not. Of course, like I became a monk, of course, like I'm not an enlightened one. I'm not from out of this world, I'm inside this world. I have a suffering, I have a worry. Of course, like we were not in so isolated places. We are in the Kathmandu city, so we have like a mobile. Like when you see the news, of course you will get worried. Every problem comes because you don't have a peace. Meditation gives your mind peace. So meditation itself means keeping your mind in a peace, keeping your mind in one point, just in a peace in one place. So when you have already peace, you have already have happiness. If you want to be happy, you make things for yourself. What makes me happy? So you run, and then you share with others, so 2 people will learn. And then you share with your society, you share with your country, all country will learn. It's like a drop of water. So if government will run this kind of things, they will influence their people, and this country will be the example for other countries.
The reward is happiness, that's in your heart. And when you're unhappy, it's in your mind.
It starts from here. So my analysis will say that every unhappy moment in your entire life started in this 3-pound lump of meat, right? Every event in your life has no power to make you unhappy unless you turn it into a thought and start to torture yourself with it.
Eigenlijk zijn we allemaal gelukzoekers. Waarom zou je anders doen wat je doet? Ga maar eens na. Maar als je aan mij zou vragen van wat is geluk nou eigenlijk, zou ik er niet precies een antwoord op kunnen geven. En ik heb er wel honderden keren over nagedacht tijdens het maken van deze film. Van wat is geluk nou eigenlijk voor mij? Maar ik kan er gewoon maar niet mijn vinger precies op leggen. Van daar word ik vrolijk van, daar word ik gelukkig van. Voor de een is het iets heel anders dan de ander. Voor de een zijn het de momenten, voor de ander de periodes. Dus ga ook op zoek naar jouw Rushmore, ga op zoek naar jouw geluk. Het zit allemaal in ons. We hebben allemaal die rijkdom om gelukkig te zijn. Dus geniet ervan.
I was walking around the neighborhood with my mom, and I could tell she had some shit up on her mind. She turned to me and said, "Mike, don't you want to meet someone?" I said, "No, I want to meet everyone. I want to get drunk with the punks and do bump with the king. I want to creep down the hall and go to bed with the queen. And when they come for my head, well, I'll be somewhere at sea, singing loud, singing proud. It's good to be free, 'cause
I won't waste another day living someone else's way. I wanna be happy, I wanna be free. Fuck what they say, I'm doing me.